Hello, and welcome back to the Pursuit of Freedom podcast. I'm excited to record this one. It's a little bit different. I want to talk about one of the keys to living in alignment, which if you've been around here a while, you know is something I'm really, really passionate about. So let's talk about the importance of recognizing when you are drifting from your values. When you're feeling misaligned, you're out of alignment and you're just feeling a bit ick. Well, the clickbaity word for it is red flags, right? Recognizing your red flags. Being able to recognize when you're drifting from your values is important. And I want to share a story with you of something that has happened this week and what I reminded myself to do to get through it. I want to share it with you. So recently I've been having difficulty maintaining motivation with the podcast, really questioning why I'm doing it, if people enjoy listening, all these swirling thoughts, right? Especially as I navigate and begin to explore the concept of monetization through the podcast. Well, this week, it's reached breaking point, honestly. I've been editing an episode that was scheduled for release today, but obviously I haven't released it. The guest was fabulous. That wasn't the issue. They were generous, they were vulnerable, all the wonderful things that you want in a guest and that I look for. But as I was listening back to it and I was sort of editing, I just got this sinking feeling. Something wasn't feeling right. I wasn't excited about this episode. It wasn't firing me up. And then I had these thoughts, but I don't want to let them down. I owe it to them to release this. They were so generous with their time. I'll release the episode as a one-off. I won't do this again. Next time I'll say no. I still haven't finished editing the episode. It was meant to come out today. Now, I don't like editing, but that's pretty bad, isn't it? And that is a pretty big red flag or a warning or a sign, whatever you want to call it. So here is what I did to get through it. In fact, it happened probably an hour and a half ago that I went through this. First, I recognized that I was feeling out of alignment. And I knew from past experience that I wouldn't be able to course correct by myself. I know this about myself. I know my red flags. I know what's going on. I recognize these swirling thoughts. Second thing, I then sought support. That sounds funny, sought support. I found support, looked for support, reached out for support. So I messaged a friend and I talked about it. Now, this friend is a straight shooter. She doesn't beat around the bush. She gives it to you straight. So I told her what a shitty mood I'm in. And she's a podcaster too. She gets it. And do you know what she said to me? She's like, Rosie, it's your fucking podcast. Just don't release it. And I came up with every excuse under the sun as to why I should release it. And I just kept saying how guilty I'd feel if I didn't do it. And, I'll just release it this one time. She goes, Rosie, what's going to happen if you feel guilty? How long's that going to last? A week? Then what? It's your podcast. It's called The Pursuit of Freedom. Are you pursuing your freedom if you're releasing episodes that you don't want to? I thought, fuck. It's a bit of a wake-up call, wasn't it? And you know what she said after that? She said, Rosie, how about you record an episode about this and share the experience and what people can do for themselves if they're in a similar situation? I thought, you're a genius. So I hang up from the phone, sort of reflecting on our conversation, and I brought it back to my values. I'm like, she's right. 3 of my core values are staying true to myself, exploring my curiosity and playing fair. Well, am I staying true to myself if I'm releasing an episode that doesn't feel aligned? No. Am I following my curiosity and my passion about freedom if I'm releasing an episode that goes against that? No. Am I playing fair if I release an episode that I don't really want to? Not really. Is that fair on the guest? I don't think so. So that solidified it. I'm like, yep, my friend's right. I better get on with it. And so I came up with a plan. I'm like, this time, I'm going to write an outline for the episode. I want it to be concise. I want it to be to the point. Because as you know, in my solo episodes, sometimes I can get a little bit sidetracked. This one, I'm trying to stay on point, very structured, but it's still me. So I got a little outline next to me. Tell me what you think, by the way. Can you tell a difference? After coming up with the plan, I implemented it, which is what I'm doing right now. I'm recording the bloody episode, and when I hit stop, I'm going to do a quick edit. I'm going to schedule it in Captivate, and out it'll come into your ears, and hopefully you're going to get a lot of value. And that sharing part is actually really important to me. I think sharing your experience with someone else brings it full circle, because you've shared your struggle, you've got the advice, you've reflected on it, you've come up with a plan. Yeah, you've done it, but share it. Connection is so important, and just being proud of what you've done. So let me recap. First thing you need to know or need to do is recognize your red flags. Okay? Next time you're getting lost in the sea of the shoulds and feeling yourself drifting and in a downward spiral, first thing you do, recognize your red flags. Second thing, find support. Third, bring it back to your values. So you're doing like a logic check. Okay, does that make sense? Yeah, actually it does. So then, step 4, come up with a plan. You've spoken to someone, you've got support, you've got their insight, you've calibrated by looking at your values, you're planning now. Next, you implement your plan and you share it. Now, sharing it doesn't have to be with the world through a podcast like I'm doing. It could be in your journal, it could be with your partner, it could be with your pet. It could just be talking to yourself, I don't know. But it is important to share it. It brings it full circle. Own your progress. Now, you might be leaving this episode thinking, yeah, okay, Rosie, that's great, but I'm not even sure what my red flags are. I don't even know what my values are. Gosh, this episode's useless. Well, no, it's not. I want you to go to episode 3. This will help you figure out your red flags and your values. And then you can come back to this one. That's it. Those 6 things, that's what you need to do. Or 7 if you include going back to episode 3. Recognize your red flags, seek support, calibrate with your values, come up with a plan, implement it, share it. And go listen to the episode 3 if you need to. Okay, I'm repeating myself. I'm going to stop. I feel really good recording this episode. Let me know if you enjoyed it. I am having a deep reflection of on the podcast episodes and trying to figure out which ones you enjoy most. So I am experimenting. Does this educational format work for you? Do you enjoy it? Does this shorter type of episode work for you? Let me know. I'll see you next week. Bye.